You are now listening to an exclusive interview on Sounds of Success with Noah Swiderski.
What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the Sounds of Success. I'm your host, Noah Swiderski. Today, we're talking about the backbone of the country, the guys who get their hands dirty so the rest of the world stays in the light. My guest today didn't just start in a penthouse. He started in the trenches. He's the owner of Priority Electric, a man who's built an empire across North Carolina, from residential power to massive generator installs. He's a leader, a grinder, an absolute shark in the trade. Please welcome to the hot seat, Greg Norwood. How's it going, Greg?
Hey, man, how are you doing?
Doing good. Really appreciate you hopping on the podcast. Now, take me back to the first time you strapped on a tool belt. When did you realize you weren't just meant to be, working, but working for yourself and running the show?
Dude, I come from a background of like retail and, working in sales for a long time. And then I kind of just stepped out of it. I was like, I'm tired of this. There's got to be something better to this. And I wanted to get into went to help a buddy of mine, and he was doing lighting installs. And I'm like, I want to get my feet with this because it was fun. It was exhilarating, really, just trying to get into there and changing out these lights. Once I went into that, I was like, I got to soak up as much of this as possible. Worked for a couple electricians in the area, and I finally was like, you know what? I'm tired of being the the low guy on the totem pole. We got to figure this out, So I got licensed through the state. Went through all of that. That was like a fumbling process. There's no good way to get through it. You're just trying to like work your way through it. And I think after I was licensed, it was maybe 9 months. We hit the ground running. Me and one guy, and we went from there to now we've got 13, 14 in the field, and we're continuously growing. Building a brand is what we're about. We're tired of the cliche of you got to be a dirty tradesman. So we're building that clean look.
I love it. And with as much work and as much of a workload as you have and as many clients as you have, how do you balance projects, and especially projects that may be difficult when you first approach them?
Starting out, there's a lot of a growing process with it. When you run into, you're the phone, you're answering the phones, you're taking the calls, you're the one having to step away from the work to go look at the work and to process the work and to schedule the work. Once you start figuring out these growing pains, we grew into having to expand our people, not only in the field, but in the office as well. So the thing that kind of helps us a lot right now is having a project manager. Has really taken a load off from being able to work in the business and work for the business. You know what I mean? So being able to separate that and having an office manager that does that as well. They take a load off my shoulders to help me build the brand and continue building the brand.
I love that. And with such a high rating on Google reviews, really everywhere online, and this massive following that you have, how do you keep your guys engaged? How do you keep them motivated? How do you keep your crews running like athletes?
So most of it boils down to keeping a vision in front of them. So if we can't share the vision, then we've got to step away, right? So the vision is continuously growing, being successful, and we want to be efficient. We want to be well-mannered and well-rounded when we come to our clients, our customers. Putting on a face of success, being very professional when we step out. One of the things, if you look at our reviews, people rant and rave about is our efficiency, our professionalism, and our attention to detail. Those are things that kind of go for us, and we don't let our foot off the gas when it comes to those things. That's very much a trigger point for us. I've walked onto jobs and seen some lackluster work, for a better word, and I'm like, nah, we're going to redo that. Even if it get covered up with the wall, we're still going to, I know it's there, we see it. So making sure that, on or off the field, we're still playing the same caliber.
Absolutely. And building a business from the ground up is never easy. It doesn't matter what industry, especially yours. What's the biggest risk you took when building Priority?
Most of my risk came on people. I feel like, you take a chance on people you don't know, but I was very fortunate and blessed to be able to take a lot of people with me, that, from the ground up, we bring everybody up with us, right? Nobody's here to get rich. We're just here to make a number or make a brand and build something out of nothing. So I've been very fortunate to have a lot of people that I can trust from square one. We have, had some guys come in that we weren't sure of. We weren't, all the things. And it's a vetting process. I got a mentor, and one of the things that he beats in your head is to hire slow but fire quick. So take your time in picking the people out. But once you have that bad taste, you got to let them go. You can't keep that around. Can't keep that in your books, because it's just going to kill your brand in the long run.
If there was one quality in a person that you look at and you're like, oh, you have priorities DNA in you, what would that be if you could nail it down to one quality?
I'm gonna shoot for integrity, because I'm not able to be there by your side day in, day out. So if I can see that and I can feel that in your personality, I know that what you tell me on the job site is so I can go to bat for somebody like that. If I can't trust you and I can't see, I can't build that, then you got to go. Most of these guys are around my family. It is a family business. My business is built around my family. And if you can't respect that, or, I can't trust you around them. I can't trust you around my customers neither. So that's a big deal.
And when you approach, let's just say, much larger projects like commercial projects, you're in a trade where one mistake can be fatal. How does that high stakes pressure on the job site translate to how you negotiate a major commercial contract? Or do you even feel pressure?
Yeah, the pressure's when you get the plans, the pressure's there, right? Because it's very overwhelming when you take on, a massive project, and you're like, okay, how do we attack this? How are we profitable? How are we efficient? And how do we deliver top-notch quality to the customer in front of us, right? So you have to be very mindful of all aspects, but we do transparent pricing and most everything we do, so that, you know, you see what it cost us, you see what it's going to cost you. This is where it's at. We don't take we do our best not to take a hit, but one thing that I will go to my grave on is, if I miss it, it's on me, right? I'm not coming back and be like, hey, I'm going to need some more money because I didn't look this through, right? So that's a huge quality that we really take to heart, is if we miss it, we miss it hard, and we miss it together. So we try to take that on the chin.
Absolutely. And you're very much a blue collar, roots with priority. How do you balance that with also staying cutting edge of high tech power? I mean, from EV chargers to smart homes, the game's always changing. How do you stay ahead of that? And do you guys stay ahead of that?
Yeah, so I come from a tech background. I worked for a few technology companies for a long time. And so I'm infatuated with it, right? One of the faults my wife has against me is I will get the phone every year. You know what I mean? Like, whether it's the most garbage update, I'm going to get the phone every year, because that's just something I've always been about. Um, so things that we bring to the table that a lot of people in blue collar haven't grasped yet is, we bring the technology. We have the iPads that we access the jobs on the job site. We have X, Y, and Z. We have the processes in place. We spend a little extra money to make sure that our back end is very seamless. We set the expectation. Everybody knows what's going on. Everybody has access to it, and we make sure that we put off the persona that we're coming for business. We're very professional, and we're going to look that way as well. So I think the technology helps keep that in front of us with EV chargers. People want the Wi-Fi receptacles, the Wi-Fi switches, the smart homes, all the things that keeps us in front of all of that. So we really push that, to help us stay ahead of it. So we take that very seriously.
That's amazing. When someone sees a priority electric truck rolling down a North Carolina highway, what's the one word you want to flash in their mind?
Clean. I see so many people drop the ball, man. Like, presentation is everything. We have a very simplistic logo. It's very easy to remember. There's not a lot that goes into it. So focus on the details, and we keep it clean. my guys, we have requirements. If you drive one of my vehicles, it has to be clean within 2 weeks. Every 2 weeks, there's van checks, there's things like that. So that is one of my biggest pet peeves. We're not showing up with wrinkly clothes to the job site. I mean, yeah, we might get a little scruffle on our beards and stuff like that. That's fine. I'm not worried about that. But what I am worried about is we're not going to show up in some dirty clunker that's got mud down the side, so we're gonna presentation is key, right? Let the brand sell itself before you step out of the vehicle.
That's amazing. And you can only really make one first impression. And it sounds like you guys put your best foot forward in every facet of that. We're in a brand new year, as you know. What's the one goal you've set for Priority Electric that's going to make 2026 the year you pull away from everyone else?
Yeah, so we've made some massive changes. I mean, you're aware of, there's massive changes we've made just in the last 2 weeks, from rebranding our website, kind of refreshing it. We've lived kind of so long that it just made us look official. Now it actually works for us. There's a lot of things that we're changing. We're rolling out new programs. We have the new Power Safe program that we're rolling out this year, which will help all of our customers across the state, anywhere that you're at. It's going to be huge. Offers discounts, offers massive savings. It's going to be a big deal for everybody. We're changing our marketing. Our marketing has just gotten vastly different. Again, just in the last 2 weeks. We are building a sales team that will be rolling and funneling our sales and funneling our people in and making sure that we're staying on top of reviews, customer service. We want to be number one. We're second to no one in our eyes, and that's what we're going to show. So we're just going to keep our nose down and keep grinding.
That's the blueprint right there. No fluff, just pure execution. I really appreciate all your replies. I appreciate you coming on and showing the listeners what it actually looks like to build something that lasts. If you're in North Carolina and you want the job done right the first time, you call Priority Electric. If you're listening to this and you're still on the sidelines, it's time to get to work. I'm Noah Swiderski. This is Sounds of Success, and we're out. Stay dangerous. Thank you, Greg.